enough. Let's run away. Oh. I believe I've had enough. I must run away. Run into a dream like Gauguin. Rest my weary heart somewhere far away. On an island, just like Gauguin. Break the ties that bind without thinking twice. Sail into a dream of paradise. But if it all comes true and I get away, to the island of my dreams like Gauguin. If at first I find a little peace of mind, very soon I'd see there was no escape for me. I'd end up after all with my back against the wall, just like Gauguin. I'd end up after all with my back against the wall. Next, to go. I'd end up after all with my back against the wall. Next, to Gauguin. Oh. So, is that the total result of all this brooding? One new song? Feel as if I'm missing something. That poem of Eliot's keeps going round and round in my brain. Footfalls echo in the memory, down the passage that we did not take, towards the door we never opened, into the rose garden. Jacques Brel would have taken the passage, he would have opened the door. Took every passage, opened every door, that was the way he lived. I can't even walk across the other side of the room without debating the consequences. All right, I've got a story I want to tell, but I don't have the first idea how to tell it. I've got some songs I want to sing, but they're in French. I try to translate them, but when I do, they change their meaning. But in French, they take me on a journey through France, through Belgium, through Brel, to some deep part of myself where I can glimpse the rose garden. That much I know, that much is clear. Only it isn't a rose garden. It's a wind-driven sea crashing against the sea wall at Scheveningen. The north wind transfixing the blue eyes of a man of the north. Mon père disait, c'est le vent du nord qui fait craquer les villes. À Scheveningen, tellement fort qu'on sait plus qui navigue, la mer du Nord ou bien les digues. C'est le vent du Nord qui transperce les yeux des hommes du Nord jeunes ou vieux, qui fait chanter des carillons de bleu, venus du nord, au fond de leurs yeux. Perdisé, c'est le vent du nord qui fait tourner la terre autour de Bruges, autour de Bruges. C'est le vent du nord qui a fait raboter la terre autour des tours de Bruges, qui fait que nos filles ont le regard tranquille des vieilles villes, qui fait que nos belles ont le cheveu fragile de nos dentelles, berdisées. I'm here tonight because of a dream. 7 years ago, I dreamed I was in the tropics. I was looking for a place to live, a house. I was tired, so I went into a restaurant for a drink. It was one of those palm-thatched, open-sided places with red gingham oilcloth on the tables. Jacques Brel was there. We started to talk as if we were old friends. At the next table there was a girl, a pretty girl, dark-skinned girl with very short hair. She kept looking at Brel, but he kept looking at her, but she wouldn't look at him. Pourquoi me regarde pas? Why won't she look at me, he said. C'est parce que t'es mort. It's because you're dead, says I. Oh, ça m'emmerde, bullshit, he said. As soon as I was under the ground, I understood the secret of the flowers and I came back. Then he wrote his address in my book and he went to sit with some other people. And the girl got up and joined him. The dream was so vivid that when I woke up, I got out of bed and looked in my book to see if his address was really there. A few weeks later, someone gave me a copy of the magazine Paris Match, which had come out at the time of Brel's death. In it, there were pictures of Brel, of his widow, Miche, his family, and a dark-skinned girl with short hair who was living with him when he died. It was the girl that I had dreamed about. I'd never seen her before. I began to talk and think and ask questions about Brel, which led me after about a year to a journalist who had interviewed the girl. I'll never forget the look on his face when I told him about my dream, or the way I felt when he took from his pocket a photograph of the restaurant where he had interviewed her. It was the restaurant I just described to him. I began to search for ways to weave the threads of dream and reality, of image and reflection, fact and fiction. I began to try and write. Perdisé, c'est le vent du nord qui a fait craquer la terre entre Zeebrugge, C'est le vent du nord qui a fait craquer la terre entre Zeebrugge et l'Angleterre. Et Londres n'est plus comme avant le déluge, le point de Bruges narguant la mer. Londres n'est plus que le faubourg Bruges, perdu en mer, perdu en mer. Et perdisé. Oh. I want to be in somebody else's play, not have to make up one of my own. No idea how frightening a blank piece of paper could be. No idea how many excuses a writer could dream up not to sit down and write. Can't write today, I have to pay the bills. How am I going to pay the bills if I don't write? So there's lots of those. Oh. A magazine, that'll keep me occupied for at least an hour. What's this? Somebody sent me some money. A sheaf of crisp new $100 bills from the Frightened Artists Rescue Society. Dear sir, we are sending you this on condition that you immediately abandon all current projects and proceed to a tropical island. Cortez, Colorado. Ha. Scene of my days as a stoned-out hippie. What they want. Dear friend, strange for you to get a letter from me after all this time, I'm sure. I thought you ought to know that M passed away 2 weeks ago. She'd been out gathering herbs and watching over her Navajo friends as usual. I guess she had a stroke. We found her in her chair on the porch. Looked like it was as quick and painless as such a thing can be. She had a full and adventurous life, as you know, but we all wish she could have been with us longer. I've been thinking about her a lot lately. It's almost as if I knew. As if there was a sort of accessibility of her soul. Almost as if she was present. Mainly, I wanted to send you these letters. I have no idea what's in them. We found them when we were going through her stuff. I hope this still finds you. If it doesn't, you won't be reading this, so why am I writing it? Not too many of the old crew left here in God's country, but them that stayed are getting by in the same old style. Look for us when you're out this way. Keep the faith, my friend. Frank. Keep the faith, my friend. God knows I try. Oh. These are the letters I wrote to M when I was finding out about Brel. That thing I said just now about the accessibility of the soul, it's the same thing that I feel with him, that presence when I sing his songs. I can't deny it. It was M who taught me to listen to the spirit voices. She learned from the Indians. Can you hear me, M? I want to sing a song for you. The first Jacques Brel song I ever learned. The first song that taught me that feelings can transcend language. Music can transcend language. Because even if you understand French, half of this song's in Flemish. It's a song of love lost, love remembered, love longed for. The grey Flanders sky, medieval cathedral towers of Bruges and of Gand. Brooding memories, ancient and fresh together. The wind that blows the sand across the flat land, die Vlaanderenland, and the girl, Marique, bring back the time, revienne le temps, when we were 20. Hi Marique, je t'aimais tant, entre les tours de Bruges et Gand. Hi Marique, il y a longtemps, entre les tours de Bruges et Gand. Zonder meer te wandelen, de weite winden stormende, zonder meer te wandelen, de winden zee, de Riege zee. Zonder meer te wandelen, de licht, het licht, het donker licht. Een schroot het vander mijn land, mijn platteland, mijn Vlaanderenland. Ah Marie, Marie, le ciel flamand, couleur des tours de Bruges et Gand. Ah Marie, Marie, le ciel flamand. Pleure avec moi de Bruges à Gand. Zonder weer te wandelen, waait de wind, c'est fini. Zonder weer te wandelen, de wind is déjà fini. Zonder weer te wandelen, leidt het licht, het is fini. Een schroot uit zand in land, het platteland in Vlaanderenland. Ah Marie, Marie, le ciel flamand. Faisait-il trop de Bruges à Gand? Ah Marie, Marie, sur tes 20 ans, que j'aimais trop de Bruges à Gand. Zonder mee te wandelen, laat de duivel, schijnt de duivel. Zonder mee te wandelen, brengt mijn hart in de haat. Zonder mee te wandelen, de bovendommen, schroot het zand op mijn land, mijn platteland, mijn verlanderen land. Aïe, Marie, reviens le temps, reviens le temps, de Bruges à Gand. Aïe, Marie, reviens le temps, où tu m'aimais, de Bruges à Gand. Aïe, Marie, le soir souvent, entre les tours de Bruges et Gand. Aïe, Marie, tous les étangs m'ouvrent leurs bras, de Bruges à Gand, de Bruges à Gand, de Bruges à Gand. Mystery. M. Mirror. Memory. Dijon, France, October the 9th, 1978. Dear M, I've been here in Burgundy for almost a month now, helping with the grape harvest in exchange for food and lodging, enjoying the beauties of the countryside and the effects of the wine, taking out the old guitar and entrancing lay girls with American songs. The Hank Williams of the Côte de Beaune. Big advantage here is they don't notice that I don't have a Tennessee accent. I've almost forgotten I used to do that. I'm in love with a beautiful girl. That's what's the matter with me. I'm in love with a beautiful girl. She don't care about me. Oh, I tried to keep her satisfied, but she just wouldn't stay. And now that she is leaving me, this is all I have to say. I got to really cold the blues since my baby said goodbye, and I don't know what I'll do. All I do is sit and sigh, oh Lord, since that sad day you said goodbye. Lord, I thought I would die. She'll do me, she'll do you, she got the kind of loving I want to hear what you call the sweet dad. That's a beautiful dream. I hate to think it's all over. I lost my heart, it seems. I've grown so used to you somehow, but I'm nobody's sugar daddy now. I got the love song, I got the lovesick blues. Telling me about the show you saw where 4 people sang songs by a Frenchman and how witty and touching it was. It was called Jacques Brel is Alive and Well and Living in Paris, and I told you he wasn't French, he was Belgian. Well, they'll have to change the name of that song because the guy died last night. He was only 49. He seems to have been some kind of national hero. Everyone I know stopped work when they heard him, and the radio and TV have been broadcasting stuff about him all day and on into the night. Yeah, that was quite a day. There was a song they kept playing. A song that he had written on the death of his best friend, Jojo Pasquier. I couldn't understand very much of it then, except for a couple of lines. 6 pieds sous terre, tu chantes encore. 6 feet under the ground, you still sing. 6 pieds sous terre, tu n'es pas mort. 6 feet underground, you're not dead. Jojo, here's some wine, a few laughs, a few blondes. I'm happy to tell you, it's It's going to be a long night. Now that I know you, you're the one who shames me by weeping over my poor commonplace words. Jojo, voici donc quelques rires, quelques vins, quelques blondes. J'ai plaisir à te dire que la nuit sera longue à devenir demain. Jojo, je t'entends rougir quelques chansons marines, que les Bretons devinent que 5 gars doivent dormir tout au fond du brouillard. 6 pieds sous terre, tu chantes encore. 6 pieds sous terre, Jojo, tu n'es pas mort. Jojo, tu me donnes en riant des nouvelles d'en bas. Je te dis, morts combien plus cons que toi, mais qui sont mieux pourtant. Jojo, tu sais les noms des fleurs, tu vois comme mes mains tremblent. Et je sais qui pleure pour noyer de pudeur mes pauvres lieux communs. 6 pieds sous terre, tu n'es pas mort. 6 pieds sous terre, Jojo, je t'aime encore. 6 feet underground, I still love you. But Jacques Brel didn't want people to mourn. He said, I want everyone to laugh, I want everyone to dance, I want them to amuse themselves like idiots. I want them to laugh, I want them to dance when they put me in the hole. Dans le trou, in the hole. Adieu les mille, je t'aimais bien. Adieu les mille, je t'aimais bien. On a chanté les mêmes vins. On a chanté les mêmes filles. On a chanté les mêmes chagrins. Adieu les mille, je vais mourir. C'est dur de mourir au printemps. Mais je pars aux fleurs, la paix dans l'âme. Car t'es bon comme du pain blanc. Je sais que tu prendras soin de ma femme. Mais je veux qu'on rit, je veux qu'on danse, je veux qu'on s'amuse sur des bouts. Je veux qu'on rit, je veux qu'on danse, qu'on sait qu'on mettra dans le trou. The dying man is saying goodbye to his best friend Emile, to the priest, le curé, with whom he has not always seen eye to eye, and to his wife's lover, Antoine. And to each of them he says, I know you'll take care of my wife. Emile because he's a good man, the priest because he's her confessor, and Antoine and to his wife he says, I know you'll take care of my soul. Now, the priest, the curé. Adieu curé, je t'aimais bien. Adieu curé, je t'aimais bien, tu sais. On n'était pas du même bord. On n'était pas du même chemin. Mais on cherchait le même port. Adieu curé, je vais mourir. C'est dur de mourir au printemps, c'est. Je pars aux fleurs, la paix dans l'âme. Car vu que t'étais sans confident, je sais que tu prendras soin de ma femme. Et je veux qu'on rit, je veux qu'on danse, je veux qu'on s'amuse comme des fous. Je veux qu'on rit, je veux qu'on danse, on sait qu'on mettra dans le trou. The lover. Adieu l'Antoine, je t'aimais pas bien. Adieu l'Antoine, je t'aimais pas bien. J'en crève de crever aujourd'hui, alors que toi tu es bien vivant, et même plus solide que la nuit. Adieu l'Antoine, je vais mourir, c'est dur de mourir au printemps, mais je pars aux fleurs, la paix dans l'âme, car vu que t'étais son amant, je sais que tu prendras soin de ma femme. Et je veux qu'on danse, je veux qu'on s'amuse comme des fous. Je veux qu'on danse, on sait qu'on mettra dans le Adieu ma femme, je t'aimais bien. Adieu ma femme, je t'aimais bien, tu sais. Mais je prends le train pour le bon Dieu. Je prends le train qui est avant le tien. Et on prend tous le train qu'on peut. Adieu ma femme, je vais mourir. C'est dur de mourir au printemps, tu sais. Mais je pars aux fleurs, les yeux fermés ma femme. Car vu que je les ai fermés souvent, je sais que tu prendras soin de moi. Mais je veux qu'on rit, je veux qu'on danse, je veux qu'on se dise comme des fous. Je veux qu'on rit, je veux qu'on danse, quand c'est qu'on mettra dans le trou. Dans le trou, in the hole. But the hole that they put Jacques Brel's body in wasn't in France, it wasn't in Belgium, it was in the South Pacific, believe it or not, in the Marquesas Islands, les Marquises. Marquesas Islands. Les Marquises. Sounds different in French. Almost guttural, especially the way Brel spoke it with his Belgian accent. Languages. Foreign tongues. Lips, teeth, tongues, breath, wrapped around sounds with subtle shades of meaning, delicate, untranslatable in words, only in feelings. Come with me into the language. Be like children who haven't learned to talk yet. Hear, feel, play. It's a game with sounds. Vires en Vesoul, en Fleur, en Bourg, en Vers. All the names of towns. There's this couple traveling through northern France, Belgium and Germany. They're touring. They're on vacation. He's fed up. He wanted to see Vierzon, he saw Vierzon. He wanted to see Vesoul, he saw Vesoul. He wanted to see Honfleur, we saw Honfleur. He wanted to see Hambourg, we saw Hambourg. I wanted to see Anvers, we saw Hambourg again. I wanted to see your sister, we saw your mother, as usual. But I'm telling you, we're not going any further. I promise you, we are not going to Paris. Besides, I loathe all that accordion music. We wanted to go to Paris. We went to Paris. T'as voulu voir Vierzon et on a vu Vierzon. T'as voulu voir Vesoul et on a vu Vesoul. T'as voulu voir Honfleur et on a vu Honfleur. T'as voulu voir Hambourg et on a vu Hambourg. J'ai voulu voir Anvers, on a vu Hambourg. J'ai voulu voir ta sœur et on a vu ta mère. T'as plus aimé Vierzon, on a quitté Vierzon. T'as plus aimé Vesoul, on a quitté Vesoul. T'as plus aimé Honfleur, on a quitté Honfleur. T'as plus aimé Hambourg, on a quitté Hambourg. T'as voulu voir Anvers, on a vu que c'est beau. J'ai voulu voir ta sœur, on a vu ta mère. Mais je te le dis, je n'irai pas plus loin. Mais je te ferai bien, je n'irai pas à Paris. D'ailleurs, j'ai horreur de tous les flancs-flancs, de la valse musette et de l'accordéon. T'as voulu voir Paris, on a vu Paris. T'as voulu voir du tram et on a vu du tram. J'ai voulu voir l'année, t'as voulu voir votre télé en retard. J'ai voulu voir Byzance et on a vu Pigalle à la gare Saint-Lazare. J'ai voulu normal, par hasard. T'as plus aimé Paris, on a quitté Paris. T'as plus aimé du tram, on a quitté du tram. Maintenant je comprends ta sœur et de mon belle Agnès que je fais d'autant. Je fais plus dans votre avec ton bégout plaisant. Ça fait du Pigalle à la gare Saint-Lazare. C'est cher et ça fait mal au hasard. Mais je te le redis, je n'irai pas plus loin. Mais je te ferai bien, le voyage est fini. D'ailleurs j'ai horreur de tous les flancs-flancs, de la valse musette et de l'accordéon. T'as voulu voir Paris, on a vu Paris. T'as voulu voir du tram, et on a vu du tram. La 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 la. Hear, feel, play. It's a game. Jacques Brel loved to play games with words, even at school. He was a terrible student. But in his math book he wrote, La mer est belle et longue infiniment. The sea is beautiful and infinitely long. And when he was supposed to be declining Latin nouns, mensa, 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 his mind was on his pretty cousin, Rosa. Rosa, 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 Rosé, Rosé, Rosa, Rosé, Rosé, Rosas, Rosa, Rosis, Rosis. Ces tangos dévorent un thème, boutonneux jusqu'à l'extrême, et qui recouvrent de laine leur corps qui est déjà froid. Ces tangos dévorent rien, qui déclinent de chagrin, et qui seront pharmaciens, puisque papa l'était pas. Ces temps, j'étais dernier, car ce tango, Rosa Rosé, Jacques lui préférait déjà ma cousine Rosa. Rosa, 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 Rosé, Rosé, Rosa, Rosé, Rosé, Rosas, Rosa, Rosis, Rosis. The irony is that they now use that song to teach kids Latin in Belgium. Belgium, Belgium, Belgium. Brussels, April 1980, dear M. It's been a long grey winter, but now that spring is here, the world is looking a little more colourful. As fate would have it, I got a job playing and singing here for a few months. It's a unique opportunity, as I've become more and more fascinated by Jacques Brel and how much he meant and means to French-speaking people. I'm now obsessed with the idea of doing a show about him in America. He was raised here in a prosperous family. Middle-class Brussels is heavy, M. Solid, respectable, full of rectitude and belgitude. But Brel didn't become solid and respectable. He said later that the most important point in life is somewhere between the ages of 10 and 15, when you ask yourself the question, are the grown-ups really that stupid? Or is it me? It became obvious what his answer was. Why else would a young man, having married and started a family, employed in a successful family business, assured by his father that he would one day sit in the company president's chair, give it all up for the life of an entertainer? He said, you have to take chances. You have to make mistakes. You have to be crazy. Otherwise you're crippled. So he gave up his assured position, his bourgeois respectability, and went to Paris to be a songwriter. Paris. City of light, center of life and art. But no one would sing his songs, so he had to get up and sing them himself. He was intense, he wore black, they called him l'Abbé Brel, Brel the Abbot. One critic wrote, as for Jacques Brel, we can recommend some excellent trains for Brussels. But he persevered, he didn't give up, he struggled. And then success came. Ah, success. Intoxicating, easing your path, filling your time, building and growing like a snowball. When he had his first hit record, Ne me quitte pas, Don't Leave Me, Edith Piaf said, how can a man sing a song like that? He thought he was ugly. You ever considered what an advantage that is? If you think you're handsome, the center of attention, you're always waiting for people to look at you. But if you think you're ugly, you have to reach out, and that's what he did. They say that he sang until he and the audience were in a state of exaltation. Big city concerts and all the small towns too, which he insisted on playing. He gave and gave and gave to the public. Made love to them, he said. And they loved him right back. And he lived in Paris. In free Paris. Ooh la la. City of love. Le soleil qui se lève, the sun which rises, et caresse les toits and caresses the roofs, et c'est Paris le jour, it's Paris in the day. La Seine qui se promène me guide du doigt, the Seine beckons, et c'est Paris toujours, it's Paris always. Et mon corps qui s'arrête, my heart stops, sur ton corps qui sourit, when you smile, et c'est Paris, bonjour. Et ta main dans ma main, your hand in mine, qui me dit déjà oui, which already says yes, et c'est Paris. L'amour, le premier rendez-vous à l'île Saint-Louis, c'est Paris qui commence. Le premier baiser volé aux Tuileries, et c'est Paris la chance. Le premier baiser reçu sur un portail, et c'est Paris de romance. Et de têtes qui tournent en regardant Versailles, c'est Paris la France. Des jours que l'on oublie, qui oublient de nous voir, et c'est Paris l'espoir. Des heures où nos regards ne sont qu'un seul regard, et c'est Paris miroir. Rien que des nuits encore qui séparent nos chansons, et c'est Paris bonsoir. Et ce jour-là enfin, où tu ne dis plus non, et c'est Paris ce soir. Une chambre un peu triste où s'arrête la rente, et c'est Paris nous dort. Un regard qui reçoit la tendresse du monde, et c'est Paris tes yeux. Ce serment que je pleure plutôt que de le dire, et c'est Paris si tu veux. Et savoir que demain sera comme aujourd'hui, et c'est Paris merveilleux. Et la fin du voyage, la fin de la chanson, et c'est Paris tout dit. Dernier jour, dernière heure, premier larme, et c'est Paris la pluie. Ces jardins remontés qui n'ont plus leur parure, et c'est Paris la nuit. La gare où s'accomplissent les dernières déchirures, et c'est Paris fini. Loin des yeux, loin du cœur, châssis du paradis, et c'est Paris chagrin. Mais une lettre de toi, une lettre qui dit oui, et c'est Paris demain. Des villes et des villages, des routes prennent de chance, et c'est Paris en chemin. Et toi qui m'attends là, et tout qui recommence, et c'est Paris, je reviens. Song of the Jacques Brel concert at the Olympia Music Hall in Paris. The thousands of people, the applause, the power. But it wasn't power he was seeking. And it wasn't power they were applauding. It was the vulnerability, the pain. He said, when power replaces pain, you open the door to the most profound despair. For 15 years, he stood alone on the black stage, completely committed to the fierce, implacable fight for the victory of the heart. Then he started to realize he was becoming clever, becoming slick. And when you become clever and slick instead of passionate, it's a mortal sin. So, he stopped. Merci! Merci! Thank you! Je vous remercie, car ceci justifie ces 15 ans d'amour. Thank you, because this makes it all worthwhile, those 15 years of love. Why would a wildly successful entertainer, at the height of his power, permanently abandon the concert stage? It was 1967, he was 38. He never went back, but he didn't stop moving. He said he wanted to learn new things, to explore. He said if you don't have difficulties, your life is out of balance. He said over and over again that you must plunge in, take risks, go and see what's on the other side of the hill. I thought I could follow him. I thought if I learned enough about him, I could be like that. I could become bold, a man of action, plunging into life without hesitation. But that's not what happened. I found myself standing still, gawking at his success. I didn't fill in the missing pieces of myself. I became a collector of pieces of Brel, a Brel fan, with his scrapbook in my mind. He'd been this extraordinary entertainer, this singer, this songwriter. Now he became Brel the pilot, conqueror of the skies with his multi-engine instrument-rated pilot's license. Brel the navigator, master of the oceans with his Belgian Coast Guard skipper's license. Brel the philosopher, talking about life and art on radio and television with its poetic license. Brel the movie star, Brel the scriptwriter, Brel the director, Brel the actor. He translated Man of La Mancha into French and played the part of Don Quixote de la Mancha. Rêver l'impossible rêve. Brel the legend, Brel the hero, Saint Jacques. Oh, God, how he would have hated that. Why must we invent saints? Brel wasn't a saint. A bit of a lout, a bit of a poet. He kept reminding us how important it is to be irreverent. Comment tuer l'amant de sa femme? How do you kill your wife's lover when you've been raised like me in the traditional fashion? How do you kill your wife's lover when you've been raised like me in a religious way? I need time, but I don't have time because I work for her all the time. At night I'm on the night shift, in the day I'm on the day shift, and on Sunday I work overtime. And even if I was less of a coward, I think it would be a pity to ruin my reputation. Sure, I sleep in the garage. Sure, they sleep in my bed. Sure, I do the housework. But everyone has their little problems. How do you kill your wife's lover when you've been raised like me in the traditional fashion? There's arsenic. Too slow. There's the revolver. Too quick. There's friendship. Too expensive. There's hate. But that's a sin. Comment tuer l'amant de sa femme quand on a été comme moi, élevé dans les traditions? Comment tuer l'amant de sa femme quand on a été comme moi, élevé dans la religion? Il me faudrait du temps, mais du temps j'en ai pas. Pour elle je travaille tout le temps. La nuit je vais de nuit, le jour je vais de jour, le dimanche je fais des extras. Et même si j'étais moins lâche, je trouve que ce serait dommage de salir ma réputation. Bien sûr, je leur fais la cuisine, je bats les chiens et les tapis. Le soir, je leur chante Nuit de Chine, mais qui n'a pas ses petits soucis? Why kill my wife's lover when it's because of me that he has a slight case of the clap? Bit of a lout and a bit of a poet. He wrote his most eloquent poetic song about the flat land along the North Sea coast of Belgium and Holland. Was it those distant, bleak horizons that enabled him to gaze so levelly at death and life? He sang of the rocks at low tide that capture your heart forever, of the east wind blowing so steady, the flat land that is mine. Cathedral towers instead of mountains, time passing, rain falling, the west wind longing, the flat land that is mine. Low, grey sky, quartering wind, the north wind, hear it crack, the flat land that is mine. But when there's laughter in the wind, when the wind brings the warmth of Italy, when the wind makes waves in the grain, when the wind is in the south, hear it sing, the flat land that is mine. le plat pays qui est le mien. Plat, flat, flat. Pays, paysan, peasant, one who works the land. Plat pays, flat land qui est le mien, mine. The east wind, le vent de l'est. The west wind, le vent d'ouest. Le vent du nord, le vent du sud. Avec la mer du nord comme dernier terrain vague et des vagues de dunes pour arrêter les vagues et des vagues rochers que les marées dépassent, qui ont à jamais du cœur à marée basse, avec un filiment de brume s'avenir, avec le vent de l'est. Écoutez-le tenir le plat pays qui est le mien, avec des cathédrales poéniques, montagnes et des noirs clochers comme mâts de cocagne où des diables en pierre décrochent les nuages avec le fil des jours poéniques, voyage et des chemins de pluie poéniques, bonsoir, avec le vent d'ouest. Écoutez-le vouloir le plat pays qui est le mien, avec un ciel si bas qu'un canal s'est perdu, avec un ciel si bas qu'il fait l'humilité, avec un ciel si gris qu'un canal s'est pondu, avec un ciel si gris qu'il faut lui pardonner, avec le vent du nord qui vient s'écarteler, avec le vent du nord. Écoutez-le craquer, le plat pays qui est le mien, avec de l'Italie qui descendrait l'escaut, avec Frida la blonde quand elle devient Margot, quand les fils de novembre nous reviennent à ton mai, quand la plaine est fumante et tremble sous juillet, quand le vent est au rire, quand le vent est au blé, quand le vent est au sud. Écoutez-le chanter le plat pays qui est le mien. There's something about the French language and love, the physical expression of love, the act of love. It's not so separated from the feeling, from the emotion, from the heart as it is in English. Aimer to love, aimer bien to like, ami, friend, amant, lover, un baiser, a kiss, baiser to copulate. And our good old reliable Anglo-Saxon F word has no French equivalent. There are no copulatory curses. It must make a difference to grow up with all those connections already made. Of course, it's not just about being French, it's about being alive. And Brel was alive, recklessly alive, never hesitating to express that life, that love, risking harm and heartbreak to himself and to others in his headlong pursuit of what? Holy union, purification in the flames of passion. He was married, stayed married, had mistresses, long relationships. For a while, 3 at once, wife, mistress, new love, each one believing she was the most important woman in his life. And she was, each in her own way, she was. A man searching for the freedom to love freely, or an obsessed satire afraid of true commitment. Which was he? Which am I? Deception destroys. The gulf between what is revealed and what is concealed, between what is told and what is felt deep down in the all-knowing heart. There is no hiding place. The truth will out. Love will come in. Sometimes too late to heal. A song. The lion, le lion. The lioness, la lionne, is calling across the roaring, rushing river. Don't go, says Brel to the lion. Even if she says she'll love you forever, you must be strong. Stop twitching your tail. Even if she says she's got her eye on someone else who's young and handsome, dances like a god, has a bright future and a magnificent mane, don't go, don't go, don't go. The lioness calls across the roaring, rushing river. Splash. A lion dies for a lioness. Aimer, to love. Aimer bien, to like. Ami, friend. Amant, lover. L'amour, love. La mort, death. What about the love that lasts forever? La chanson des vieux amants. After 20 years of fights, of infidelities, of learning to grow old without growing up, my love, my sweet, my tender, my marvelous love, from the bright dawn to the end of day, I still love you, you know. I love you. Mon amour, mon doux, mon tendre, mon merveilleux amour, de l'aube claire jusqu'à la fin du jour, je t'aime encore, tu sais, je t'aime. Moi je sais tous tes sortilèges, tu sais tous mes envoûtements. Tu m'as gardé de piège en piège, je t'ai perdu de temps en temps. Bien sûr tu pris quelques amants, il fallait bien passer le temps, il faut bien que le corps exulte. Finalement, il nous fallut bien du talent pour être vieux, sans être adulte. Mon amour, mon doux, mon tendre, mon merveilleux amour, de l'aube claire jusqu'à la fin du jour, je t'aime encore, tu sais, je t'aime. He said, I don't understand women. I'm shy with women. A man who doesn't tremble before a woman, don't tell me it's because of his virility. It's because he's an idiot. You must tremble before women until you die. Trembling at the heart of the mystery, where everything is known. The lion, le lion, la lionne. Splash. Ça fait 20 jours, ça fait 20 nuits, côte-là du fleuve qui bouille, appelle, appelle la lia. Ça fait 20 jours, ça fait 20 nuits, quand ça du fleuve qui bouille, répond le lion à la lionne. Vas-y pas Gaston, même si elle te signale qu'elle a notre en vue. Un qui est jeune, qui est beau, qui danse comme un dieu, qui a de la tenue. Un qui a de la crémière, qui est très intelligent et qui va faire fortune. Un qui est généreux, un qui, quand elle veut, lui offrir à la lune. Ça fait 1h20, au-delà du fleuve qui bouillonne, appelle, appelle la lionne. Ça fait 1h20 que dans le fleuve qui bouillonne, un lion est mort pour une lionne. La 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 la. girl's voice. It's on the record. Jacques. Brel answers, oui. Jacques. Jacques. C'est moi qu'on appelle? It's the voice of the dark-skinned girl in my dream. Madly. Madly. Niche. Merrick. Mathilde. Madeleine. My end. Dearest M, I've been thinking about you a lot lately and feeling a real need for your clarity of vision. I'm still wrestling with the same problems over my Brel show, and I'm starting to realize that my own quest cannot be separated from the story. My fear is that I'm being self-indulgent, but isn't that the whole point? Isn't that what he wanted to give, the message that he wanted to leave behind? That you must never hesitate to explore, and that you must never give up the dreams you had as a child. It's so well expressed in his life. And whether you try and make him into a saint, as some do, jealously protect his memory, as some do, or expose his failings, as others do, if you let yourself feel the essence, it's about movement, not the discovery, but the exploration, not the objective, but the journey. That's it, of course. And here I've been thrashing around, thinking that I could find some kind of solution, or at least pretend up here on the stage to find some kind of solution, some pat ending. There are no pat endings. There's just moving on. It's like the last movie he made. It was all his own. He wrote it, directed it, starred in it. It was the official Belgian entry at the Cannes Film Festival in 1973. He was interviewed on French radio right before it was to be shown. He kept saying, the point of life is to try, not to sit around talking, but to take a flying leap. And if you fall on your ass, to get up and go on and do something else. And then they hated his movie. The critics massacred it. So he quit making films. Sailed away into the mists of legend and rumor. Sailed away on a 60-foot steel-hulled yawl called the Ascoy, across the Atlantic, across the Pacific, taking a flying leap. A new adventure. It's that what I'm doing. I believe I've had enough, I must run away. Run into a dream like Gauguin. Rest my weary heart somewhere far away. Vieux chevaux blancs qui rappellent Gauguin. Et par une manque de brise, le temps s'immobilise aux marquises. Le rire est dans le corps, le mot dans le regard, le cœur est voyageur, l'avenir est au hasard. Les pirogues s'en vont, les pirogues s'en viennent, et mes souvenirs deviennent ce que les vieux enfants. Veux-tu que je te dise, gémir n'est pas de mise, marquise. Time stands still in the Marquesas, but time never stands still. 3/4 time. 4/4 time, times 20, 20 years, times 100 years, 1,000 times, 1,000 years, au premier temps de la valse, toute seule, tu souris déjà, au premier temps de la valse, je suis seul mais je te perçois, et Paris qui bat la mesure, Paris notre émoi. Et Paris qui bat la mesure nous murmure, murmure tout bas. Une valse à 3 temps qui s'offre encore le temps, qui s'offre encore le temps de surprises et détours, du côté de l'amour comme c'est charmant. Une valse à 4 temps, c'est beaucoup moins dansant, c'est beaucoup moins dansant mais tout aussi charmant qu'une valse à 3 temps, une valse à 4 temps, une valse à 20 ans. C'est beaucoup plus troublant, c'est beaucoup plus troublant mais beaucoup plus charmant qu'une valse à 3 temps, une valse à 20 ans, une valse à 100 ans, une valse à 100 ans. Une valse à 60 ans, Jacques encore au fond dans Paris que l'amour rafraîchit du printemps, une valse à 1000 ans, une valse à 1000 ans. Une valse à 1000 ans, de passion, j'ai 20 ans, beaucoup de 20 ans, beaucoup j'ai 20 ans, une valse à 1000 ans, une valse à 1000 ans. Une valse à 1000 ans, précieuse amant, 80 ans de bâtir un roman, au 3e temps de la valse. Nous dansons enfin tous les doigts, au 3e temps de la valse. Il y a toi, il y a l'amour, il y a moi, et Paris qui bat la mesure, Paris qui mesure notre émoi, et Paris qui bat la mesure, laisse enfin éclater sa joie. Une valse à 3 temps, qui s'offre encore le temps, qui s'offre encore le temps de souffler les tours du côté de l'amour, c'est charmant. Une valse à 4 temps, c'est beaucoup moins dansant, c'est beaucoup moins dansant mais plus charmant. Une valse à 3 temps, une valse à 4 temps, une valse à 20 ans, c'est beaucoup plus troublant. C'est beaucoup plus troublant mais beaucoup plus charmant qu'une valse à 3 temps, une valse à 20 ans, une valse à 100 ans, une valse à 100 ans, une valse à 60 ans, Jacques Carrefour dans Paris que l'amour rafraîchit tout printemps, une valse à 1000 ans, une valse à 1000 ans, une valse à 1000 ans, de passion j'ai 20 ans, pour 20 ans, j'ai 20 ans, une valse à 1000 ans, une valse à 1000 ans, une valse à 1000 ans, parce que le amour commence tout printemps de bâtir un roman, la 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 la. Which we still must build, but which will be able to hold all the dreams we dream together. Look, there's an island leaving, one that was sleeping in our eyes since the doors of childhood. Come, my love, viens, mon amour, for it's there that everything begins. I believe in the last chance, and you are the one I want. Now has come the time to live. Now has come the time to love. Une île. He wrote those words in 1962. It was 1975 before he saw the mountains of Hivaoa rising out of that infinitely long sea. He and Madley lived simply there. Brel wrote songs, Madley planted a garden. They sold the faithful yacht Ascoy, and Brel bought a small twin-engined aircraft. He reveled in the dangers of island flying. They entertained the pilots of the weekly flight from Tahiti. In 1977, Brel went briefly to Paris and recorded an album, his first in 9 years. On the day of its release, it sold 1 million copies. In 1978, ravaged by the disease, Brel returned to Europe, reluctantly agreeing to undergo a course of chemotherapy. Hounded by the press, he tried to find a hiding place in Switzerland. But in the early hours of October the 9th, after a last-minute dash to hospital in Paris, Brel died. Mourir, ce n'est rien. Dying's nothing, he said. Mourir, la belle affaire. Dying, big deal. Mais vieillir, oh, vieillir. But growing old, oh, growing old. Well, he didn't have to. I'm not being morbid. I want to be like Brel, to look right at death, to laugh, to mock, to defy, to embrace. J'arrive. I'm on my way. I'm coming. But how I would have liked to linger, to see the sun, to see the spring, to see the summer, to see tomorrow. J'arrive. I'm coming, but how I would have liked to fall in love again. to fill a trembling body with stars and fall dead, burned with love, heart in ashes. J'arrive! I'm coming, but why me? Why now? Why already? Where will I go? J'arrive! I'm coming. But haven't I always been on my way? J'arrive! J'arrive! Mais qu'est-ce que j'aurais bien aimé encore une fois traîner les eaux jusqu'au soleil, jusqu'à l'été, jusqu'au printemps, jusqu'à demain. J'arrive, j'arrive. Mais qu'est-ce que j'aurais bien aimé encore une fois, remplir d'étoiles un corps qui tremble et tomber mort, brûlé d'amour. Le corps ensemble. J'arrive, j'arrive. Mais pourquoi moi, pourquoi déjà, pourquoi maintenant? Et où aller? J'arrive, bien sûr j'arrive. N'ai-je jamais rien fait d'autre qu'arriver? Père disait, c'est le vent du nord qui portera en terre mon corps sans âme et sans colère. C'est le vent du nord qui portera en terre mon corps sans âme face à la mer. C'est le vent du nord qui me fera capitaine d'un brise-lames ou d'une baleine. C'est le vent du nord qui me fera capitaine d'un brise-lames pour ce que j'aime. Risk and passion. That's what this story is about. Risk and passion, the only road to love. How afraid I've been to face that. That poem of Eliot's about the door to the rose garden, it goes on, the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and to know the place for the first time. Jacques Brel is buried in a little cemetery on a hill above the town of Atuona on the island of Hivaoa in the Marquesas. In the same cemetery lies the French painter Paul Gauguin, who died there in 1903. I can't help wondering what machinations of the Great Spirit brought those two to the same remote place from opposite directions. It all runs together, the songs, the dream, the secret of the flowers. There is no end that is not also a beginning. Alors, ça me suffit, faut m'en aller. Run into a dream like Gauguin. Mon cœur a besoin de repos complet. On an island just like Gauguin. Sans même y penser, liens rompus, part-il poursuivre mon rêve du paradis. Mais si mon beau rêve est réalisé, on the island of my dreams like Gauguin, si j'aurais trouvé un peu de tranquillité, very soon I'd see there was no escape for me. I'd end up after all with my back against the wall next to Gauguin. Et malgré tout c'est sûr, je me retrouverai au pied du mur, à côté de Gauguin. Adieu Jacques. Et puis, merci.
I don't.